हेलो गाइस, स्वागत है आपका कंटेंट मॉन्स्टर्स के एक और एपिसोड में। और आज के इस एपिसोड में हम रिव्यू कर रहे हैं फिल्म सिर्फ एक बंदा काफी है का, जो कि हाल ही में रिलीज हुई है Z5 पर। उसके मुख्य कलाकार हैं मनोज बाजपेयी, सूर्य मोहन कुलश्रेष्ठ, जय हिंद कुमार, निखिल पांडे, प्रियंका सेठिया, दुर्गा शर्मा, विपिन शर्मा, अद्रिजा सिन्हा, कौस्तुभ सिन्हा और विक्रम सिंह सोढ़ा। अब ये फिल्म निर्धारित है एक रियल लाइफ केस पर, जहां पे एक गॉडमैन ने एक लड़की को मोलेस्ट किया था और जब उसके माता पिता ने कंप्लेंट की थी पुलिस में और ऐसे कई केसेस बाहर निकल के आने लगे। बहुत से टॉप लॉयर्स, नामी गिरामी लॉयर्स कटिंग अक्रॉस पार्टी लाइंस आए थे इस गॉडमैन को डिफेंड करने, लेकिन पूनम चंद सोलंकी नाम के एक लॉयर जोधपुर से, जहां पे घटना हुई थी, वो डिफेंड कर रहे थे लड़की को, वो केस लड़ रहे थे लड़की के बिहाफ पे। और किस तरह से इस लॉयर ने इन सभी नामी गिरामी लॉयर्स से बड़ा ब्रेवली लड़ते हुए बहुत अच्छी दलीलें और सही दलीलें पेश करते हुए केस जीता। उस बाबा को आजीवन कारावास का फैसला सुनवाया जज से, और किस तरह की डिफिकल्टीज उसे फेस हुई, उसी के बारे में ये फिल्म आधारित है।
उसने मेरे प्राइवेट पार्ट्स को टच किया जो मुझे बहुत बुरा लगा।
फिल्म में मनोज बाजपेयी is playing the role of the lawyer Poonam Chand Solanki, who actually fought for the girl for this case, and this is what the story is all about. अब क्या खास बात है इस फिल्म की? Well, firstly, Manoj Bajpayee. I mean, without an iota of doubt, this actor is at the peak of his powers. I mean, he's done a brilliant job in essaying this role. This was always a battle of David versus Goliath. The kind of lawyers he was up against, the kind of people he was up against, it was always going to be a very uphill task for him to ensure that justice happens. In fact, it was highly unlikely. Most of the country felt that it was unlikely given the kind of followers the Godman enjoyed and given the kind of lawyers that represented him. But somehow Poonam Chand Solanki managed to win the case, and Manoj Bajpayee has essayed this role brilliantly. Some say that this is his career best performance, while I would reserve judgment on that, because I don't think this is his career best performance. There are performances where he has done even better, but without an iota of doubt, Manoj Bajpayee is brilliant as always. He's brilliant as usual. He doesn't lift the film, he is the film. Absolutely, there is no question about it that you watch the film wholly and solely because of Manoj Bajpayee and the performance that he's given. So that clearly works.
Making school and hospital doesn't give you the license to rape, na?
Second, I think the good thing that the makers have done is that they shot the film entirely in Jodhpur in real locations. कोई set नहीं बना है, उस location को कहीं और नहीं खड़ा किया गया है, and that's where you can see the authenticity in the film. It all feels real because ये घटना भी जोधपुर में हुई थी. The fact that it has been shot in those bylanes of Jodhpur only adds another dimension to the film. Thirdly, I think there is a lot of sincerity in the intentions of the people making the film, and that sincerity shines throughout the film, and it wants you to see the film. So that is also something that is an advantage to the film. Now, is it a film without faults? No, not at all. In fact, like I said, it is Manoj Bajpayee who not just lifts the film, who's actually the film. But that to me is also the downside. So the first negative for me for this film is in its title itself. It says Sirf ek Banda Kaafi hai. What it's done is it made this entire episode about the savior and not the victim at all. And that's what happens in the film as well. While you see the victim and her family, what kind of ordeal they must have gone through, because to be honest, they were the first set of people who were brave enough to walk up to the police station and actually register the complaint. What kind of trauma the girl would have gone through and her parents would have gone through is not something that has been dwelled upon for too long. And that I feel is really a big negative for me in the film. That you make a film about an episode, about a crime, about something that was unfair, but the point of view or the film is entirely about the savior and not the victim at all, and that to me is definitely a negative. So that's one. Two, I think also what doesn't work for me is that obviously the Godman had created an entire cult around him. What is it that he had done? How was he able to build that cult? What was his modus operandi that he employed that could actually lure families to send their children, their girls specifically, to that godman alone to heal them, is something that hasn't been again dwelled on in detail. Again, the godman is a side role, is a side character here. He barely has a couple of dialogues. You only see him in glimpses. But if this film is about this entire episode, felt that the godman's role also should have had more depth to it, and his entire journey as to how he had created this entire sham should have been explored in slightly more detail. You feel this more because you've gone through 2 seasons of Ashram. And Ashram in that sense is similar in terms of what happened. Obviously the scale may be different. Obviously Prakash Jha had the benefit of doing it in 2 web series. He's also going to have a part 3 coming soon. But there was a lot of emphasis on how this entire thing, how this entire cult was developed. Here, that part is completely neglected. So to me, that also doesn't work as well. And third, I think in a lot of places the film is fairly flat. While there is a lot of sincerity, the courtroom exchanges seem to be very, very flat. It's left completely to Manoj Bajpayee and his able shoulders to lift the film beyond a certain point. And that to me is also a huge letdown, because the courtroom scenes could have been more engaging. Yes, the end monologue from Manoj Bajpayee is very, very impactful. But then, courtrooms don't work like that. You don't have such long emotional monologues from lawyers. Courts work on facts, and therefore while Manoj Bajpayee's performance in that monologue is brilliant, it just doesn't seem real. I mean, the age of the Damini kind of melodramatic courtroom scenes is long gone. People now expect this to be a bit more real, based on facts and evidences, and the end monologue therefore seems to be a tad too melodramatic for a film that is by and large fairly real in terms of its setting and characters. Having said that, I would still give the film a rating of 6 on 10, but that largely is on account of Manoj Bajpayee's absolutely brilliant performance, which also makes this film a definite one-time watch. अगर आपने ये फिल्म देखी है तो हमें ज़रूर बताइए आपको ये फिल्म कैसी लगी, आप हमारे रिव्यू के साथ सहमत हैं या नहीं. If you liked the review, please do subscribe to our channel for many, many more such reviews. Please do keep coming back. We'll see you soon. Thank you.